Today we're going to be going over 2 different camera motions that you can incorporate into your stop motion films. Alright, let's get going. Woohoo!
Brickology!
Hey everybody, today we'll be working with these things on the table here to do these 2 different camera movements, and it'll be a lot of fun. Alright, if you like what you see here, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe to the channel, and it'll allow me to make more tutorials like this, along with bringing you more brick films and just regular nonsense that I enjoy doing on this channel. Alright, let's get going. Alright, and here we are in Dragon Frame. Let's look at Voltron and see what happens. Here we go. Oh, nice little turn right there. And I did this all without moving the camera. So the whole point of this is to move the set. And let me show you a quick video on how I did this. So all I'm doing is rotating this little stand instead of rotating the camera, because the camera, you know, it's much bigger and clunkier, and this is just a lot smoother. Now what I've done with this little platform is I did put this piece, if you can see it, this piece right there, to make it a lot smoother, so there's something to spin on. And you know, whether you use that or not, it's up to you. I just found that it makes it easier. Of course, on a bigger plate, on a bigger base plate, you might have to put like a couple more, or what some people do is they buy a Lazy Susan and they put it on that, and that's a really nice little spin. And I unfortunately don't know where my Lazy Susan is, but this works out nice, and that's all I'm doing. So I'm moving it, taking a picture, moving a little bit more, taking a picture, moving it a little bit more, taking a picture. And of course the movements, you know, are bigger and smaller depending on how fast you want the camera pan to be. But that's all I'm doing. It's very simple, very effective. All right, so you can see I just rotated this set, but what the camera sees, it's pretty cool. I really like how this worked out. Now, if you're like, well, Thomas, I have a bigger set, then what you can do is either, you know, again, it's all important what the camera sees. Just rotate the entire set. It, of course, fits on your table, and just rotate the whole thing. Put it on one base plate, and just imagine this is a humongous base plate. You know, just rotate the entire base plate. If you don't feel you're very accurate with the turn, then buy a Lazy Susan. They're very cheap. You can get them cheap on Amazon for under like 10 bucks. You can get a good one. All it's got to do is turn. And keep in mind, these minifigures don't have to stand still during this turn. They could be moving just like they're always moving, and it would just be a dramatic camera, you know, camera panning rotation while they move. Let's take a look at a quick thing I did with Voltron on an example of that. Alright, let's look at what Voltron's gonna do. Oh, all he's doing is just doing a little head bobbing like he's rocking out to some music while the whole set is rotating again. Now this wasn't as perfect, but I think it still gets the point across. While you're rotating the platform, you can, you know, make him do anything, just like if the camera were stationary. I could have him walking, I can have him raising his arms, I can have him, you know, shooting a gun or anything like that. I just happen to have him head bobbing because that was pretty simple to do for this tutorial. Let's see it again. So you see, it's just as I move the base plate, he's rocking out. And it wasn't a perfect turn because you can see how the base plate moves. So maybe I should have gotten a Lazy Susan for this one, because every time I moved him, you know, I would undoubtedly kind of knock this a little bit out of center. But at the very end, you know, I still think it was a pretty cool shot. And now let's look at this. This is just a simple camera panning down to Voltron. And that's it. It's pretty smooth, and I did this all without a tripod. So let me show you how I did this. Now it does require Like in the last example, I said the Lazy Susan would be helpful. This one, I have another little tool that would be very useful as well. Let's watch the video, and then we'll come back here and talk about it. All right, for this next one, I'm using this. This is great because it has this little turny thing, and it can raise or lower the entire platform, and you can get pretty precise, you know, just knowing exactly how far you're turning it. Now I'm gonna put some of the putty on the legs just to make sure that it doesn't move. Set it right here, make sure it's pointing at Voltron, and I'm just gonna set my camera on top of it and let's see what it looks like. That's what it looks like, and once I focus it, I'm just gonna start bringing the platform down. So I make a slight turn. Well, I need to take first, let's take this initial picture. There we go. Then I make a slight turn, and the platform will start lowering. And I just got to remember how far I'm turning it. But for this tutorial, I'm just going to turn it and let's lower this thing. So if you notice, the whole platform is lowering. The camera's hopefully not moving. I could have secured the camera. That probably would have been a smarter thing to do. But let's see how this turns out. All right. All right, so you can see I use that little platform that goes up and down, and it's very effective. I've done this trying with a tripod and trying with this, and I've just found this method to be a little bit more stable, and I like the way it looks. Now, of course, I could have lowered it all the way down, and while I lowered it, focused, you know, closed in on his face so it could be a little bit more dramatic of a shot. But you can just get very creative with the things you want to do. Just like the last example, as it's lowering down, he could be walking, he could be doing whatever he wants. You just got to make sure that you move the camera as you move Voltron or your minifigure. So that little platform is incredibly useful. It's only about 20 bucks, and it's very small. It fits your camera, even put your cell phone on it, and it's very effective. All right. Voltron sucks. What?